Good day. Thank you for the opportunity of being pre-selected for this job. I'm honored. I'm here to explain my experience and my skills. My experience have been 10 years that are divided with and without a degree. My experience have been in the area of public contracts or agreements. I'm in charge of looking out for process that the entities open to the possibility to be public contractors. I supervise that we accomplish or we fulfill the requisites. If not, we make observations where I advise what observations they can be made, and the administration decide if they make it or not. If there are observations that must be made and they agree to make it, they make it. If the answer is no in part of the entity, then we decide if we risk presenting or not. And if it is through the previous or the schedules of the entity terms, then we wait until the definite conditions to make the same observation, or we make the observations, and if the administration agree to make it, they make it. If the entity accept the observation, we can present ourselves. If not, we assume the risk of presenting. But normally we don't make into the presentation if there is no acceptance or agreement on the condition of the entities that are impaired with what we can fulfill in the requisites without any of us as providers no taking advantage or taking part of the decision making of the impart of the or melting it with the entity, with the decision of the entity. We just wait until the entity responds. If it is positive, we present. If it is not, we decide if we present ourselves. If we decide to present ourselves, we prepare the offer and we present it without previous the end of the term of presenting, because if we present it later of when the term has passed, we lose because we presented when out of time, delayed. After we present the offer through the term that is given by the entity, then we wait if there is a requisite in part of a requirement in part of the entity, or an observation in part of other possible provider. If there is not, we continue waiting until the evaluation. If it is a requirement, we answer it, or we answer it, we wait until the decision audience, because we can answer any requirement or any observation until the end of the term, that is the decision audience or reunion. If there is no requirement, we wait until the evaluation. Then we wait until there is an observation that could be made before, if the other providers know what as competition lack of, or during the evaluation, the published side of the evaluation. After that, we wait. If the evaluation have been published, we wait if other requirements of the entity have been made for us, or an observation have been made for us by the providers, other possible providers, and we ask for the copies, or we search for the other offers and search if there have been a mistake or lack of requirements in the other possible providers, and we make the observation. If not, we just stick to answer fulfilling the lack of requirements, or answer requirements. We fulfill the requisite that we have to fulfill to be part of the decision, to be able to make it to the decision audience, so the entity can decide beside the other possible providers, us, or before the evaluation, to make it until to the evaluation, so the entity can evaluate us. Or after the evaluation, we fulfill the requirements that are necessary, correct the mistake, and answer the observations that our competition have made. If we fulfill all these requirements and all the observations, we wait until the decision audience. In the decision audience, if we have a requisite that we haven't fulfilled in a good way, we fulfill it. Or if we need to answer a requirement or an observation, we do it, so we can be part of the possible contracts, or part of the options of the entity to be a public contract to them. In the object of the contract, that in in the matter of us, of where I work, is to supply air tickets or air fares to the public entities. If we are chosen after fulfilling the requirements and the observation and receiving a good answer of the entity, if we are chosen, we continue to sign the contract, we fulfill it, we start to, we as part of the Department of Contracts, we advise the administration to sign it. We advise, we talk to the entity to coordinate what is needed to the fulfill of the contract, like the policy and signing of the contract, plus the taking of the contract and with the policy to the entity physically. Then we see if there's need of one of the employee of the administration to be located in the entity. And after that, we just wait and see if the contract is going well, if it's being fulfilled. If it's not, then we wait until the requirements and answer them and advise the administration to fulfill it well. And after during the contract, the development of the contract, if we see that the contract is not going to continue being well fulfilled, we advise on options like to give it up to another possible contract, or give advisement to the administration to fulfill it well, and we give options to the administration to how to fulfill it well without any danger of fines. And if there is a possibility of fines, we advise on how to defend it, to defend the administration, so we don't have a sanction that is made with a fine or end of the contract with a penal sanction, that is, or penal part of the contract that is more than a fine. That is a clause of the contract that is called penal clause, that comes after the fine, because and is made after the fine is given, but after us as a contractor, we don't fulfill the contract, even though we have given we have been given a fine. And if we continue fulfilling the contract well with or without the fine, we act as the Department of Contractors or public agreements. We wait until the project of the contract ending or liquidation. We pass it on to the Department of Payments, or how it's called here in Colombia, envelopes of charging. They supervise or review with the accounts and the registration. If we as a private entity owe the public entity, or we as contractors, we owe the contractors, we owe them money, or if the contractors or entities, private or public, owe us, or the mixtures of them two owe us money. And if they don't owe us, and if we don't owe them, then they pass it on to the Department of Public or Contractors or Public Agreements. So we give the administration to sign it, or even if there are any observations, they pass it on, so we can talk to the administration. There are times when the envelope department or charge department talk to the administration directly, so there cannot be any misunderstanding of the conditions, because the administrations normally call the charging department or envelope to see how the agreement end up, or what are the observations or the debts that we have with them, or the debts that they have with us. After the observations have been made, we wait until the entities respond. If the entity responds that we have to sign it and they're not gonna pay with reasons like we didn't fulfill any requirements or obligations, then we have to sign it. If we fulfill the obligation and requirements but we owe money, we have to pay it, or leave it like that without charging, because there's the possibility that they don't charge us and we don't charge, or the administration go through it, talk directly to the entity, or ask for a reunion and talk to them, so the entity and the administration of the entity that I work on with, decide what is the step, the next step is to or on, or what continues, if they're gonna pay us or we're gonna leave it like that. And the Department of Agreements that I work with and on, we wait until the answer, and we wait until it's signed, the liquidation, and we send it, or they sign it, or the administration sign it in the entity, while the administration is on the entity reunion with the entity. And after that, we get a copy, we send it, we put it on a list. So we ask for the certification of the agreement. After that, after receive it, we upgrade the provider's registrations. That is a document in Colombia where the financial, the experience, and the data of the company is put there, and if there are funds, they are put there because that's the most important public document that is showing what is the status of the companies, and we do it through the company or entity that is in charge of those data, that is the commerce chambers of Bogota, because each city in Colombia has its chambers, commerce chambers, and we do it online to update the register, the providers public register, and if there is change on data of the general representative or administration, we do it in with the commerce chamber, but on another document that is called the existence register or the existence certificate. That's basically the function and the experience that I have on the area that I work on. My skills are leadership, being able to work under pressure, independence on decision making by taking most of the time risk of the decisions that I have to make, because I think that it's for the good of the company. Efficiency, willing to do the job that it has to be made. Being able to communicate, to talk to any kind of person, providers or the entities that we are we provide the airfares or the hotels. Being able to analyze any situation and come with a solution, even though it's a risky move, willing to work any any hours that I have to develop or work, even though it can be on a holiday or a weekend or my break time. That's all that I'm able to talk even though I'm under pressure with manners and diplomacy in English and Spanish. That's all that. And well, that's the addition that I have to make on this video, is that I'm willing to work to this company because I can work from anywhere, even though it's my home or a cafe or a coffee restaurant or a restaurant. Being able to attend any client at any time, and be pointing attention to any of our clients' needs until we solve everything that our clients need, even though it could be a 24-hour work. I'll be willing to fulfill it. Because this could give me time for my sports, because I'm training for a triathlon, my first one, and because I'm willing to try other kind of works that are part of what I know to do, that is to solve legal problems on agreements, public contracts, civil issues, or administrative problems. Thank you for the attention and for the time that you have given me, and the time that you are gonna give yourself to see this video. I hope I fulfill the requirements. Have a good day and week. Have a good 1st of May and a good week. Thank you.